What is going on, y'all? Today we are going over a juicy melee build for the PvE realm utilizing our Void Titan. Now this does have a brother version for the solar side of it, which we will be covering as well in the future, which might be even better than this one. You guys will have to determine that for yourself. I think this one is a banger as well. Now we're going to be using Void Titan with a Peregrine Greaves in the boots. These things have the shoulder charge abilities to deal bonus damage when activated in mid-air, dealing damage to mini bosses, tormentors, or champions with our shoulder charge fully refunds our melee energy. So when we're going through lost sectors, any of those nightfalls, anything that has champions, tormentors, even mini bosses, which is almost every single activity, we're able to use these boots to just shoulder charge the actual crap out of everything. This will one-shot almost every single champion, even in those master lost sectors, being about 20 under light, 15 under light at the moment, using the ability to weaken them, stun them, and then just juice them for up to like 750,000 damage just for one single melee. So you can see the juice of this build in Peregrine Strike. Like I said, all shoulder abilities, Seismic for Arc, Hammer for Solar, Shoulder right here for Void, deal the bonus damage while activated in air. This is on every target, so it's going to do a lot of damage no matter what. Now, the important part, like I said, is dealing the damage to mini bosses, tormentors, or champions, because we fully refund all of our energy with that, so you can just continuously melee after melee after melee on those champions, whatever it may be, mini bosses or tormentors. As for our other mods that we are going to be using on this build, hands-on, of course, so we can get our super back even quicker using that bubble right here to give us the ability to do some more damage with our weapons and that protection. Using special ammo finder with harmonic siphon for our fusion rifle, as well as creating orbs with all of our void weapons. Heavy-handed to create orbs of power on all of the defeats that we're getting with our shoulder bash, as well as impact induction fastball to get our powered melee back. When we cause damage with it, we get our grenade. Now we're going to be using concussive dampener with solar arc resistance. You can switch these out totally up to you depending on what you're going into. Now up here you could throw on something like grenade kickstarter or melee kickstarter, but I personally like using utility kickstarter on this because we're using the ability to give ourselves overshield, which makes our melee even stronger. So I want my class ability up as often as possible. So for the weapons that we pair with the Peregrine Greaves build, we're using Scatter Signal with Overflow Controlled Burst to help with that stranded debuff, as well as the DPS of this build on those bosses that we can't one-shot. We're using Velis X with Repulsor Brace, as well as Golden Tricorn, give us that Void synergy. We're going to be using Tractor Cannon so we can suppress targets, weaken them, which allow us to do even more damage with our shoulder charge and the Peregrine Greaves. Now when we move on to our Queen's Foil right here, we are going to be using a couple different perks, mostly inside of Horde Shuffle, as well as Unraveling, as well as Torches. We can get Radiant hopefully from another player with Unraveling Orbs for our Strand Fusion Rifle by picking up those Orbs of Power, as well as creating Threadlings with this build. Nothing else really applies to this build besides the Overload Pulse right here. All of this is totally up to you and what you're going into. Finally, for this build, going over our abilities, aspects, and fragments. You could use your Shetno Shield if you want, but I like the Ward of Dawn option for that protection, as well as that increased weapon damage. Towering Barricade with Strafe Lift is for me with the Shield Bash. Definitely need this on for Peregrine Greaves to proc. Now for me, I really really like the scatter grenade a little bit faster for coming back, as well as it deals a good amount of damage with those splits and sublimations. Now, important, this is why we are using our overshield as much as often with offensive bulwark, because we get our grenade to recharge faster and we have increased melee range and damage. Final blow extends the duration of the overshield, so this procs very good with the Peregrine Greaves, allowing us to stack that damage even more, which helps with the one-shotting of those champions in that endgame content. We're going to be using Bastion, so when we throw down that barricade, we get that overshield to us and our nearby allies, which regenerates over time. So the match made in heaven between offensive bulwark, Bastion, and Peregrine Greaves. Now we're going to be using Echo of Leeching melee final blows to start health regeneration, just helping us stay alive since we're going to be mailing everybody, instantly killing them with the crazy juice that this build puts out. Picking up a Void Reach or an Orb of Power grants us Devour, helps us to stay alive. Devour is one of the best perks inside of the game. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to our weapons, so both our tractor cannon as well as, more importantly, our Velis X will get those volatile rounds to help with that add clear potential of this build, with the Void Grenades that we're using to weaken targets. For scatter grenades, it helps us to, one, weaken targets, so then we can use offensive bulwark and our Peregrine Greaves with tractor cannon, and it is a crazy combo. Like I said, we're able to wipe out a lot of those champions, being 20, 15 under light with just shoulder charging them in this build. 700, almost a million damage with it, depending on how you get everything to stack. Like I said, when you have offensive bulwark plus weakening going on with Peregrine Greaves, it is super, super nasty. So be on the lookout for the solar build that I got coming out as well with the Peregrine Greaves. That one is super, super juicy as well, especially this season because of the artifact mods, but this one will stand the test of time with the Void subclass and our Shield Bash. So Titans, definitely give this boy a try out. Very, very, very fun little build. Juice and everything for Peregrine Greaves, and that full refund of melee energy just feels too good when we do those melees on champions, tormentors, mini bosses. So thank you guys again for the support. Truly appreciate all y'all. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.